ain't gotta clear my name on a motherfucking thing. Every time I get mentioned, one of y'all bitch ass get 24 hours of attention.
As you can see, Megan is definitely not playing around. But who is she actually talking about? And is this what we call a diss track or what? Well, we are as excited as you are to know what actually happened. So let's dig in while we roast some coffee beans. Are you people ready for the beef of the year? Because this was completely unexpected. Megan Thee Stallion and Nicki Minaj are apparently now beefing and dissing each other for some reason. But before we actually talk about the problem itself, how about you first get to know who Megan is and how she came to fame? Megan Thee Stallion, aka Hot Girl Meg, is a multi-award-winning rapper, singer, and songwriter. The Captain Hook rapper was born in San Antonio and moved to Houston, where she spent the first 14 years of her life. She then moved to Pearland, a neighboring city in southeast Texas, where Meg grew up, played a significant role in her development as an artist. Growing up, she saw her mom rapping under the name Hollywood, and this served as her first introduction to the game, even accompanying her to the studio instead of going to daycare. Meg began writing her own raps when she was 16. Her mom made her wait until she was 21 before releasing music, so by the time she was in university, her rapping skills were already sharpened. She began dropping freestyle videos on her social media platforms.
Boy, you know your bitch is not fucking with Megan. Your nigga not even fucking you naked. He put the tip in and then you start complaining. If I get on it, I own it and take it.
Her hard-hitting rap style drew in followers en masse, helping Meg build her online presence and establishing her dedicated fan base. Her larger-than-life personality was a key contributor to the early success she enjoyed, but 2016 to 2017 was evidence of Meg's crazy work ethic and how determined she was to make it big. She released 3 projects in the space of 2 years, racking up millions of streams and views across SoundCloud and YouTube. 2018 saw Meg's breakthrough into the mainstream. Meg solidified her reputation as one of the most exciting upcoming rap talents, but her first hit, the one that got people knowing her name and set the bar high for upcoming rappers, would be none other than Hot Girl Summer featuring T.Y. Dolla $ign and Nicki Minaj. This song was the start of the relationship between both Megan and Nicki, but you should also know a thing or two about Nicki, don't you think? Minaj was born Annika Tanya Miraj on December 8, 1982 in St. James, Trinidad and Tobago, and moved with her family to Queens, New York when she was 5 years old. Determined to make it in the music business, Minaj took on backup singing roles for local New York City rappers, including Full Force. Soon, she began writing her own material. She was eventually discovered by the Dirty Money CEO Fendi, who came across Minaj's MySpace page, loved what he heard, and signed her to his label. That connection led Minaj to Lil Wayne, who collaborated with her on a series of mixtapes, which showcased Minaj's female swagger and out-front style. She signed to Lil Wayne's Young Money label in August 2009, becoming its first ever female artist. By early 2010, anticipation had built up around Minaj's debut album, which was scheduled for release that fall. In April of that year, she released her first single, Massive Attack, followed by Your Love. 2 months later, she won Best Hip Hop Female at the annual BET Awards. She dedicated the award to Lil Wayne. The Pink Friday album dropped that November, with 8 singles released to promote it. It went triple platinum and received generally positive reviews. And this is how both these famous female rappers made it to where they are today. But speaking of today, our Hot Girl Summer girlies are beefing like no other, and we have to dig in to gather all coffee beans possible. On the 26th of January, Megan came back with the now trending hit single Hiss. The song, the music video, everything honestly had a lot of amazing feedback. But a lot of people were busy reading between the lines because it looked like Megan emptying her guns on someone, but it wasn't all clear, especially because no names and no references were mentioned, except one.
These hoes don't be mad at Megan. These hoes mad at Megan's law. I don't really know what the problem is, but I guarantee y'all don't want me to start.
Did you guys hear that? She was like, these hoes don't be mad at Megan. These hoes mad at Megan's law. We're sensing that you might need some context. Basically, Megan's law is a federal law put to warn communities about sex offenders. And who's the one married to a sex offender? That also has a brother who's a sex offender? Nicki Minaj. Everyone, including Nicki Minaj herself, felt that this specific sentence was targeted to her and her situation. Therefore, she wasn't going to stay quiet and came out with a song called Bigfoot just 3 days after Megan's release, and this is how she starts up the song.
Hey yo, this little begging whore, talking about Megan's law. For a free beat, you can hit Megan raw. If you a ghost by the party.
If it wasn't obvious, she just made it obvious. But the rest of the song is still obviously very much targeting Megan. So yes, it was a diss track towards Megan for sure. If anyone doubts it, you're tripping. But why though? Why would there be beef between these two? Well, if you have forgotten, we are here to remind you that Nicki and Cardi B are like sworn enemies. At this point, this is general knowledge. And who was featured on a hit song called WAP by Cardi B after having a hit song with Nicki Minaj? The answer to that question would be Megan Thee Stallion. So we think that the case is all about about Megan being on Nicki's radar, especially after the betrayal. And Nicki is very famous for beefing with other female rappers, especially Cardi B and Latto. But Nicki fans took the opportunity to give her full credit for Megan's success and Megan's rise to fame, claiming that people only listened to Hot Girl Summer just because Nicki was on it. Most of the public really criticized Nicki, with some claiming it was a weak move from her to actually drop a full song dissing Megan when Megan said nothing about her. Some called her thirsty for some attention, self-centered, and everything related to toxicity. Others were criticizing the song itself, being very much not serious sounding, and just her goofing around in the studio with a beat behind her. A lot of people said that because at the beginning of the track, Nicki goes,
Yeah, bye. Big foot, but you still a small fry. Swearing on your dead mother when you lie.
A lot went on to say that this shouldn't have been an actual song. She could have just gone live on Instagram and not humiliated herself like that. But with all this happening, Megan is just chilling and focusing on one achievement after the other, being very unbothered by the whole situation, which is really pissing both Nicki and her fans off. But what is the end game though? What will happen? Whether you're a Nicki fan, a Megan fan, or just a random listener, we want to know your opinion because this beef going on between them might eventually get out of hand and reach levels never seen before. Anyhow, we've reached the end now. And we want to know, what do you think about this whole thing? Was Nicki's reply necessary? Did Megan's comment on Megan's Law was really targeting Nicki's situation with her family? Or is it just a play on words? We will never know until Megan herself replies to Nicki's diss. But it doesn't seem like this would even happen, right? Therefore, imagine yourself sitting in our cafe and getting the discussion roasted.